Yeah, I do apologise for that. But that's a terrific play in the backfield, immediately getting good penetration, especially off those fake handoff plays. They can be quite tricky to handle, considering that, you know that Whitehead wants to run, but obviously the Wolfpack can't really tends to sit back or take anything for granted at the moment. Here, 2nd down and 11. Whitehead sitting back, hands off. End around, he's going to sit back. It's going to be the halfback pass, long pass from Tedmondson, and it's put down deep into the backfield. Mitch Gavros there, unable to pull that one in. They've used the halfback pass before to their advantage. It's obviously a very tricky play. How do you defend against something like that?
Well, you've just got to keep your eyes, in the backfield, and from a defensive back perspective, you've got to keep your eyes on your receiver and try not to, jump into the backfield if you see the possibility of a run happening. Pretty much just stay focused. And Nick Grant, number 22, he did that then and was able to create enough pressure on the wide receiver to cause him, to not get to the ball.
They scored the halfback pass on the very first play of their last Australian Gridiron League match. Lining up now. 5 wide receiver set. Whitehead has time. Quick pass. The pass is caught well low. Ian Nolte taking the catch, but that's good defensive pressure there. And that is going to bring up 4th down on the first drive for the SA Sharks here at Hurstville Oval. Welcome to the 5th game of the Australian Gridiron League here on Ascension Sports TV. Just to kind of quickly reiterate what's on the line here. If the Wolfpack win this, they're in the final to face Queensland up in Queensland. That's definitely going to be no easy task. The Wolfpack, however, have a handy buffer in terms of how they're going to... If they can lose this game by less than 28 points, they're in, and that sounds fairly comfortable, but believe me, once the game gets going, and if they're on back foot, might prove difficult. The Sharks definitely been a surprise packet on some of their plays. Snap is low. Carlisle Jones fakes, and then kicks it long. Dangerous punt return team for Wolfpack, that's for sure, and he's got space to move. Dodges in one, falls down. There will be a flag on the play. And we're going to wait to see what that's on, obviously. And now the Wolfpack are going to get their first drive underway, looking to add to the 50 points they scored against the Monarchs. Obviously touched on earlier, they're a dangerous team. We'll have to wait to see what the umpire's call is.
Illegal block in the back. Number 70, return team on the run back. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
So it looks like the Wolfpack are going to line up here in a twin set on either side. Kieran Dorney in the backfield with a running back alongside him, a fellow Sydney Uni Shark. They're going to look to get some yards here. Going with the hard count to no avail. And he takes the snap here and he looks for the quick check down to Grant McNaughton, who has proved to be dangerous after the catch. And he picks up what seems to be a couple of yards, maybe 2 to 3 yards, so a good way to start the opening drive here for the Wolfpack. And we saw Grant McNaughton break a big one down in ACT in their first game. I think it was about an 80-yarder, so he's going to be a focal point for the Sharks defense to keep an eye on. Man in motion now. It's going to be number 12, Tiong. He hands it off to his halfback. Look, he's got a bit of room. He breaks one tackle. He proves to be hard to bring down. That's going to be a 1st down. And it's Mason Safkuni, who I think scored three or four touchdowns in their game against the ACT Monarchs. So he's another offensive weapon that the Sharks are going to need to watch out for today. So 1st down for the Wolfpack. He's got twins either side. They don't mind going to this twin set. They're a pretty pass-heavy offense, and why wouldn't you be with Dorney back there? And he's going to look for McNaughton over the middle. A little bit overthrown. He's a big target, McNaughton, but you can't expect him to be reeling those ones in. It's a little bit over his head. 2nd down and 10 for the Wolfpack. So here we go. They've got a bunch set out on the right here with Grant McNaughton, and they're going to go straight to him, and he puts that one down. He'll be disappointed with himself there. He had a crew of blockers in front of him, and he wasn't able to bring it in, so it's going to be 3rd and 10. So the Sharks, they've bent a little bit, but they're not breaking so far. They're playing quite well on defence. And now they've got twins either side, Saf Cooney and Dorney in the backfield. He takes the snap. He's going to fake it to Saf Cooney, and he goes again to his target, Grant McNaughton, and as you can see there, takes plenty of stopping. It's going to be a first down for the Wolfpack. So they're on the hurry up here. Dorney calling some sort of audible pre-snap. Twins either side, and they're set to go. Look for a run up the middle here, perhaps. Goes for the hard count again. The Sharks staying fairly disciplined on the defensive line there. So here we go. He takes the snap, and he's going to float one over the top there, intended for Cheong, the Sydney Uni wide receiver. Weren't quite on the same page with that play, but they do have two more up their sleeve. It's 2nd and 10. So it looks like they're going with a different setup here in the backfield. He's got Alex Watson next to him, Saf Cooney behind him, and he will go to Saf Cooney running behind Watson. Nice play call there from the Wolfpack, and that will be another first down. Saf Cooney. He's an electrifying running back. He's got good lateral movement, and he's quite strong when he runs the ball forward. So he's not an easy guy to bring down. So it's going to be 1st and goal now, as we see Max Nina being injected into the action. The Newcastle Cobras wide receiver. They've got 3 people in the backfield now, or 4 including the quarterback, so we'll see what they do here. Dorney, he's going to hand it off to the Wollongong Mustangs running back, and not much happening there. The Sharks defensive line was able to get a fair amount of penetration and bring him down. So good job by the Sharks there, who are holding firm here on their opening defensive drive. 2nd and goal. So 2nd and goal now. Similar setup to what we saw last time. Now we've got a bit of movement happening here. They're going to go to trips right and twins on the left. So empty set for Keenan Dorney. He doesn't mind throwing the ball. And it looks like it's going to be a design quarterback keeper. And he gets cut down there at about the 5-yard line. So what's impressed you so far, Chris, about the Sharks offense on this, the Wolfpack offense on this opening drive?
It has been interesting, but they've gone to a variety of options. Like you can see, Keenan Dorney's willing to take the run. He's going outside. Like you've mentioned, they're doing plenty of formations as well. So it's really keeping the Sharks on their toes. And like you said, the Sharks are bent but not breaking. But, they've got 4 yards to defend here. It's going to be tight. But, the Wolfpack have done really well here to move down the field efficiently.
Here we go, 3rd and goal, big play. Keenan Dorney is under centre, and he's going to go with the quarterback sneak, and he's fumbled it. It's going to be recovered by the Sharks, and it looks like it's going to be a first down for the Sharks. So massive takeaway there, and a big let-off. The Sharks will be stoked with that. What a way to start defensively. Bend but don't break, get the takeaway, and it's still going to be 0-0 here.
Keenan Dorney tucked that one under his arm. The Sharks didn't buy it, and they're able to get it out. Carlisle Jones jumping on the ball, the big defensive end from the Adelaide Eagles. And now they're in an interesting position because the SA Sharks were in this position beforehand. They've been put back on their own goal line and have been forced into a safety before by the Western Australian Raiders in their first Australian Gridiron League match. It's interesting to see how they're going to be able to get out here, considering that the Wolfpack's defence didn't even let them get 10 yards on their first drive. Spread set. Move the man in motion to make it trips right. Whitehead opts to take it himself. Cuts back on the inside. Gets a few players on him, but that'll be a handy gain to get them out of danger on that side. And in terms of those 6-7 yard pickups, every week we mention it, but those 6 and 7 yard plays on first downs are really invaluable because it sets up the second down and medium where you can open up your playbook.
Yeah, absolutely. It really brings, a large variety of calls for second down and even third down. And just in the case there, the last thing you want to be doing is, playing second and third down backed up on your own too. So, excellent pickup from the Sharks there, and it really gives them some breathing room to, work out what they're going to do on second down.
Absolutely. They've still got a long way to go, though. Second down and 4. Whitehead has a bit of time in the pocket, steps up, pass, and it's just ahead of his man, Tedmondson. Good coverage there from the cornerback and the safety. Good secondary work to make sure that wasn't a big play there to get them out of danger, and now it's third down and 4. In terms of the Wolfpack, you can just see that this is a very quick defense, but it's also a very energetic and a very brutal defense. In terms of what the Sharks are going to have to do, how do you find a weakness in this defense?
Well, they're pretty much stacked from top to bottom, the defensive line, linebacking core, and the secondary. Look, the Sharks... Sorry, we'll just get back to this play really quickly. Oh, it looks like they've caused an encroachment there from the defensive line. So this could be a gift first down. Depending on what the referees call, we'll just listen in to see. Having a conversation here about... Yeah, and they're calling encroachment, so it's going to be offsides on the defense, and it looks like it's going to be a gift first down for the Sharks.
Offside. Number 79, defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So as I was saying, just about the Sharks, the Wolfpack defense, they have showed a couple of liabilities through the air in terms of the defensive backs, perhaps not sticking to the wide receivers as much as they would like, the coaches would like them to be doing. So I think if there's a way that the Sharks can expose them, it is through the deep ball. They do appear to have some dangerous receiving threats and some big receiving threats as well. So they'll look to exploit the Sharks secondary today.
Lining up in a bunch, trips right. Whitehead have Simons in at the backfield now. First down and 10. Whitehead rolls himself out to left. There's a flag on the play. Whitehead under pressure, throws down the middle, and it's going to fall short. Wolfpack doing well to cover all assets of that play, but the flag is down, and we're going to have to wait to see what the call is there. Looks like it's going to be on at the Sharks.
Personal foul, chop block, number 68, number 64, offense. Half distance to the goal, second down.
So the chop blocks are a massive killer here, and that's going to put the Sharks back and undo the hard work that they kind of had given to them in a way on that last penalty. And now it's going to be first down and long, lining up 5 wide receivers. Empty backfield for Whitehead. Sits back, has time, throws it in the line, it's up in the air. Whitehead takes his own pass and is going to get a yard or two. That's an extraordinary play.
Yeah, we've seen Brett Favre do that a couple of times in the NFL back in the day. He gets the reception himself. But interesting call there by the Sharks to go with a 5 wide receiver set. You can actually get some pretty favourable matchups in terms of tight ends against wide receivers when you choose to go to that offensive set. So that could be something they'll be looking to use as this game goes on.
Indeed, and the Sharks are going to be looking to try to get anything going on offense at the moment. They're struggling to get any yards. The only yards they've really had so far have been through penalties. Back out to the 5 wide receiver set. Trips to the left-hand side. Whitehead right on his own goal line. Calls for a man in motion. Flicks out to Ottens. In the open field, is able to get past one. Big hits on the sidelines. And that's going to get them a few yards, but sets them up for a third down and long situation. In terms of what you call on third down and long, I mean, especially, you know that defenses are obviously going to sit back a bit, going to play a little more cover. What do you try to do? I mean, Whitehead's a mobile quarterback, but you can't really utilise that at this stage, can you?
Well, no, not early. I think what you'd go with is perhaps a screen pass or a halfback draw. It's about keeping it fairly risk-free. It's 0-all. They can still regain some of this field position with a punt. So, normally you'd see a dump off, a check down, or a halfback draw, but you never know. The South Australian Sharks looking to move the ball around, so we'll see what they do on this one. It looks like he is going to go deep. So he does go the check down to number 45, and he's He's got a bit of room, breaks a couple of tackles, and I tell you what, he's going to be close to a first down there. We might have to get a measurement, but it was a nice check down and good yards after the catch.
Ian Nolte does that very well, especially in the local leagues when playing for the Eagles. And that looks like he might just be short. That's an unlucky play. I mean, that's still got them 13 yards or so. Might look to use that in the future on their next drives. Now, in terms of punting in this situation, they are going to punt it. We've seen a lot of teams so far in the AGL take their chances on the 4th down and short, seeing if they can get it. But this is obviously very risky field position to do it in. They're backed up right on the edge of the Wolfpack red zone. Carlon Jones back to punt now. Long, high kick towards the sidelines. It's going to bounce in favour of the Sharks. And that will get the Wolfpack right back into their own zone here. Welcome to the Australian Gridiron League match here at Hurstville Oval here in Sydney between the New South Wales Wolfpack and the SA Sharks. Thank you very much for joining us here on Ascension Sports TV. My name is Chris Guscott alongside Jake Humphreys. It's 0-0 at the moment. Both teams struggling to, well, actually, sorry, apologies. The Wolfpack did very well on their last drive to drive down, but fumbled on their own one. Unfortunately for them, it's still 0-0.
Yeah, as we see, Dorney now, he's going to hand the ball off to Saf Cooney, who gets slung to the ground there, and a pretty good tackle by the South Australian Shark linebacker, Stevens. So it's going to be about 2nd and 8 here. As Chris was saying before, they were able to drive all the way down the field, the Wolfpack, and Keenan Dorney kept it on a quarterback run, and he just, a bit lackluster with the ball security, and South Australia were able to come up with a takeaway. So there's a flag on the play here of some sort. We'll see what the referee has to say.
Illegal participation, 12 on the field on the offense. The penalty is declined, 2nd down.
So not sure what the penalty was for there. It may have been waved off. They don't seem to have been backed up, but either way, it is still 2nd down and about 8. So Dorney's going to take the ball now. He's going to hand it off to Saf Cooney. And he stopped well by the Sharks' defence. A parade of players came through then to tackle him. So it's going to bring up 3rd and medium to 3rd and long. So a good job by the Sharks' defence here. They seem to be pretty strong against the run early, don't they?
Yeah, well, Saf Cooney had that one big run early on, but the Sharks, that's one thing that you can guarantee on, that they did get beaten deep quite regularly by the Raiders, but in terms of the running game, they are quite solid in terms of stacking the box.
As Dorney now has the ball. He's going to pump to his left and go to McNaughton, who went up for it with one hand. Gee, it was close. But as you can see early, it's all Grant McNaughton. He's a big target. He's got a big wingspan, and Dorney's certainly targeting him. So that's something that the Sharks defence will need to look out for, maybe get an extra defensive back on him. But, I mean, you can understand why, Chris, why they're going for him. He's a massive target and can make great plays after the catch.
Just a corner's nightmare, really, and safeties as well. I mean, especially considering he has that vertical ability, can get up and make sure he can get the catch over you, and then when he puts it to ground, you've got to take him down. So he's a real threat, especially on that line, and he shows he has a lot of pace as well. He's one of the premier receivers in the league. There's going to be a flag on the 4th down punt. Have to wait to see what the call is on that one here. 0-0 here.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 56, offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay the 4th down.
So a 5-yard penalty on top of that, which means they'll now be punting from roughly about the 30-yard line, which means the punter will get the ball about the 12.
5 yards will push the punt back just that little bit further. Takes his time to punt, gives himself a little bit of space. And it's going end over end here. Which way is it going to go? Bounces a long way down, almost clips into the back of Taylor Barrington from the Sharks. And that ball is going to stop on the 15. So now the Sharks come back onto the field. There is a flag right in the backfield. Looks as if it could be interference on the punter. We'll have to wait and see. So 3 minutes left here in the first, still scoreless. SA have held on here.
Personal foul.
The old expression, bend, but not breaking at the moment.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It looks as if they're going to have to redo the punt, potentially. Oh, sorry, my apologies. That's really going to hurt the Sharks. I mean, especially in those situations. It's 4th down, you've got your offense back onto the field, and now you've got to put your defense back on. That's got to be a killer for coaches and players.
Yeah, it's got to be upsetting for the Sharks, considering how well they did on defence there to give away the personal foul. It's really an ill-discipline call, and normally comes from just an individual getting a little bit too hot-headed or whatever, but certainly extremely costly. So we see the Wolfpack with a gift first down as Dorney. He's going to get the ball. He hands it off to Benedict, and this is a big gap. He will go all the way. Shades of the ACT Monarchs game. Saf Cooney celebrating with his Sydney University teammates there. They really paved the way for him. Tell you what, he's a dangerous running back. They need to get their hands on him quickly, otherwise he will break a big one.
It's when you open the formation up like that and you don't have anyone in the box to defend the run. The second he gets through the line, you're not going to catch him. We've seen him do so much damage against the Monarchs with his pace, and his lateral quickness is unbelievable. He didn't need to go laterally that time, just went straight to the end zone, barely even got touched. That'll be a disappointing way for the Sharks to give up 6 points. And the Wolfpack now, you could say maybe take a deserved lead here in the first. Coming back now to what seems like a more normal formation on the extra point attempt here. And Liam Irby with the kick. It's on its way. And it will be good. And the New South Wales Wolfpack take a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. What has impressed you about the Wolfpack offense? I mean, what have they been doing to put the Sharks on edge?
Well, I think the offensive line's playing well. I mean, just there you saw them elected to throw, or the offensive coordinators have elected to call a pass play. He's had plenty of time back there. So the offensive line for the Wolfpack, with a lot of Sydney Uni players in there. I think they've got a Newcastle Cobras player in there as well. They're playing, outstanding, blocking well, and I think that's really, they've really led from the front for the Wolfpack, and it's a big reason why they've developed a 7-0 lead early.
For those who are unfamiliar, the Sydney University Lions have not lost in a very long time. Believe me, ask anyone from New South Wales League. They haven't lost in almost 10 years. They won the Waratah Bowl. They won it by 65 points, I believe, which is unbelievable, and it shows, especially with the amount of Sydney University helmets that you see, all the yellow helmets on the Wolfpack side. Ensuing kickoff now following the Saf Cooney touchdown. And we're underway again. It's a wobbling kick, hard to take, but done well there. He's got a little bit of space to move, but runs into pressure. And that's going to put the Sharks on the 30 to start again. And after it was 0-0, now the pressure's on them to get the ball rolling here and to put some scores on the board. It's 7-0 here in the first quarter of the Australian Gridiron League match here on Ascension Sports. First down and 10 now. New drive for the Sharks. Ian Nolte in the backfield. Spread set, 2 wide receivers on the other side, moving Tedmonson in motion. He comes up the field. Whitehead takes it himself. Cuts back on the inside. Gets chased down well. That's good defensive quickness there from the lineman, but a good recognition there from Whitehead. He is a outback quarterback in training, to say the least. He really only played half a season this year for the South Sydney Chiefs. That's his only senior experience, but already looking at home here for the Sharks.
Yeah, he did a good job there. It's difficult from a quarterback's perspective to determine when you actually want to pitch the ball out and keep the ball out on those option reads, but he did a good job of bouncing back on the inside and getting some much-needed yards here, opening up the playbook for a second and short attempt.
He certainly is a weapon now, sir. They're lining up trips to the right-hand side here on second down and short. as mentioned before. Whitehead high snap, does well to hold it. Passes to the near side, and he's going to find his man on the outside, Panazzolo. And he's going to get brought down. That looks like that might be enough to move the chains. And the SA Sharks now, 2 good plays in a row. That's all you need to start with, just a few good plays to get a drive going. And it's incredible what can happen if you keep a defence on the field for a long period of time.
Yeah, well, they definitely get, the defence gets fatigued, more and more plays, more and more first downs. And that was a nice throw there by the quarterback. He took advantage of the off coverage that was being played by Nick Grant over there on the left side and gave it to his receiver on the quick hitch. It was a great job picking up the first down.
Bunch to the right-hand side here. And they're going to move 4 receivers on that side now. Gavros moving out to the numbers. Whitehead has time. Long pass. He's wide open, and it's just over his head. And a clever play design. They moved him out of the backfield and got him into that seam and then fading away to the sidelines. And unfortunately, the pass is not on target, and the Wolfpack dodge a bullet here. Like you mentioned earlier, the Wolfpack can be exposed deep, but in terms of when you change the formation at the last second, obviously it's difficult for defences to adjust.
Yeah, it depends heavily on whether you're playing zone or man coverage. Obviously, if you're playing man coverage and a defensive player has the assignment to that player who's going in motion, they have to make sure they follow him out to the receiver position, which, I don't know, there was obviously a mix-up there, but a massive gain gone begging for the Sharks.
Seems execution is the only problem for the Sharks here. Split set, they're going to fake it again, and the toss this time to Nolte. Tries to cut back on the inside, stays on his feet, but eventually brought down by his own receiver. And looks like they'll be able to get a few decent yards on that one. Not many to speak of, however, and now it's going to be down a 3rd down and 6 situation. This is a big situation for the Sharks, especially they're trailing early. And in terms of what the Wolfpack did against the Monarchs a few weeks ago, when the Monarchs had opportunities, they couldn't take them, and the Wolfpack did. It is very important that you need to take your opportunities against the Wolfpack, because this is a team that later on in the game is going to make you pay for them. Trips right. Whitehead sits back, scrambles to the right. The throw is over on his head. Good coverage there from the defensive back. And that is going to bring up 4th down for the Sharks.
Yeah, it was good pressure there from Eamon Akamoy on his left side. And then the other Shark, the Central Coast Sharks player, as you can see by the white helmet, Daniel Sharp, he was pretty tight in that coverage there, and he was able to do enough to cause an incompletion there. So it brings up 4th down and 6 for the Sharks after the incompletion, and it looks like they might be going for it. Yeah, they are. They're in fair field position, so, we'll see what they can accomplish here on 4th and 6.
Moving Otten's in motion now. 2 receivers to the other side. Whitehead once again moves to the right. There's a bit of time. Checks down to Ottens. And he's caught in the backfield. And a good defensive play from the Wolfpack. Didn't let anything get past them. And they're going to come back on the field now. Must not be much time left here in the first here. New South Wales 7, South Australia 0.
Yeah, it was a questionable play call there from the South Australian Sharks. Normally, if you're going for it on 4th down, you want to be able to deliver the ball to the receiver past the 1st down marker, but obviously they were expecting some blocking or some yards after the catch, but it just didn't work out there. Good open field tackling by the Wolfpack. And now they're on the field. Dorney brings a man in motion. He's going to flip it up to him on the end around, and he breaks one tackle. He gets some good blocking on the edge from Alex Watson. Tell you what, nice gain there. Looks to be about a 12-yard gain and a 1st down for the Wolfpack. Mark Shoebridge from the Northwestern Predators. He actually entered training camp as a quarterback, and he's been moved to wide receiver. He's displayed talent in both areas, and he's a versatile weapon for the Wolfpack. Looks like Dorney may have been able to create some defensive movement. No. Timeout, I think.
Timeout.
Yeah, it's a timeout. I think
South
the Sharks have
Australia.
called a timeout to perhaps
First
adjust something
timeout.
on defense to make sure they
19
can
seconds to go
come
in the
up with a
quarter.
stand here.
19 seconds.
So 19 seconds left here in the quarter. Would like to just take this opportunity while there's a stoppage in play to thank the Hurstville City Council and for Houseworks as well for helping us at home. Chris Guscott here with Jake Humphreys. It's been an entertaining game so far. It's been interesting. It's been back and forth. What are your thoughts on it so far?
It's actually very similar to the Wolfpack Monarchs game that we saw a couple of weekends ago. It's very hard fought early. But you get the feeling if the Sharks aren't able to capitalise soon, then the Wolfpack may run away with it. So the Sharks are really going to need to muscle up here defensively because, as Chris was alluding to before, the Wolfpack do get some momentum and they get a bit hotter as the game moves on. So the Sharks are going to need to keep the tempo high and look to bounce back here in the first half. And firstly, hold the Wolfpack off here. So we see Keenan Dorney now in the backfield. He's got Alex Watson to his right. Twins to his right. And he's going to do the quick fake to Alex Watson and gets it to Mark Legge over the middle. He was wide open. So it's a handy gain there and a first down. Mark Legge will be playing for Australia in the upcoming World Cup next season. He's a big target, much like Grant McNaughton. And he's a crafty veteran as well. He's been playing for a long time, Legge. So it's a shotgun set again. He's going to hand it off to Alex Watson this time, who does a good job to get past the linebacker. Jeez. Stumbling all the way down to the 3-yard line. Great effort by Alex Watson. He's a big unit, isn't he? And he's got quite a good amount of speed for a fairly bottom-heavy player. So we've got a stoppage in play here. Could be quarter time. Quarter time, so they're going to swap ends here, and the Wolfpack getting quite close, looking pretty good on offense. So, yeah, I mean, what have you liked from this drive from the Wolfpack, and what do you think that the Sharks need to improve on to come up with a stand?
You see, the problem with what I see from what the Wolfpack are doing is they're having effectiveness in both assets in terms of running and passing. In terms of what I've seen, especially on that last play from Alex Watson, it's very hard to bring down a big man, and we say it every week because there seems to be a lot of fullbacks playing running back in this league. I mean, Kieran Lansdell is probably one of the best examples, an outback fullback. He plays running back for Western Australia, but in terms of how they're just moving down, they're just being versatile, and they're executing on different plays, which is making it very difficult for the Sharks to get into a defensive rhythm and to shut down certain aspects of the play.
Yeah, they're certainly opening up the playbook. We've seen screens, we've seen quick checkdowns, we've seen the shotgun handoffs, the end-around. So they're certainly throwing plenty at the Sharks early in this game. But the Sharks, they're doing a fairly good job. They're holding them off to some extent, but they're really going to need to create a takeaway like they did on the opening drive or come up with a stand here. So now Dorney he's going to hand the ball off to Alex Watson, who was hard to stop on the last play, and he won't be stopped on this one. Put a bit of a juke on with the left foot and went straight in. So that's 2 rushing touchdowns for Mason Safkuni and Alex Watson, the Sydney Uni Lions running back duo. He looked good on that run, didn't he?
Yeah, and again, that's exposing a problem for the Sharks. They're getting beaten right down the middle. I mean, the first touchdown, which was roughly about 2 minutes left in the first quarter, Safkuni went straight down the middle and was untouched on his way to the end zone. Exactly the same for Watson. And on the 2-point conversion, he's going to run it in. It's a strange formation, but it's a goal line set that the Wolfpack like to go to, but it works. That's all that matters, I suppose. And now it's a 15-0 lead for the Wolfpack, and now this is danger signs early here for the Sharks, especially when you're down by this much, maybe early in the second quarter. This drive is going to be pivotal.
Yeah, look, they can't afford to get behind too far early in the game. We saw the ACT Monarchs give up an early lead to the Wolfpack, and they eventually went on to lose by 50 points. So the Sharks are really going to need to get things clicking on offense. Look, they've showed good signs on offense. They've been finding receivers down the field. As I alluded to earlier, there may be some opportunities through the deep ball for the Sharks, but they're just going to need to keep at it and look to get some points out of this drive because they don't want to let the Wolfpack run away with it too early here.
Absolutely, definitely a potent team, and they've got the one eye on the final already. But just remember, it's a long way to go. We've seen stranger things happen in gridiron, that is definitely for sure. So here we go, ensuing kickoff. And the kick comes right off the side of the boat. Looks like a sweep kick. There's a flag. It might be too short on the kick. And it looked like he either planned to do that or that just came right off the side of his boot and purely shanked that one. We'll have to wait to see what the umpires call on this one, but I can imagine that the Sharks will get this either on a penalty or they might have to redo the kick.
Be a flag on the play, however. Maybe the ball didn't travel 10 yards. We'll have to wait and see.
Illegal procedure number 82 was in front of the restraining line at the kick. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So there is a penalty on the play for New South Wales.
So it looks like they're just going to have to redo the kick here. 15-0 here at Hurstville Oval in Sydney. Thank you very much for joining us on Ascension Sports TV. Chris Guscott alongside Jake Humphreys is joining me for today and doing a good job so far. Thanks for coming, man. And the kick this time is legal. And a good take there from the lineman, Josh Barry, making a move down the outside. It's a big term, big man with football. And like we said with the fullbacks, they're very hard to bring down purely because of their size. Could just put Josh Barry in if he wasn't such an important part of the Sharks' offensive line. And now they're going to get the ball back and come onto the field to see if they can try to break their stale account at the moment here. It's 15-0. And it's a scoreline you could say that you expected at the moment in this match so far. But in terms of what the Sharks are capable of, they put 13 on the Raiders, which I'm sure a lot of people didn't really expect them to do. Let's see what they can put up against the Wolfpack, who are a very respected defense, that's for sure. Twin sets. Whitehead moving. Tedmanson in motion. Hands off down the middle. And he's just going to barge his way for a few extra yards. Like we were talking about earlier, it's those few extra yards on first down which really do help you.
Yeah, it opens up the playbook for the following down and also gives your offense some confidence. There's nothing worse than getting hit in the backfield if you're a running back, getting sacked, or even dropping a pass if you're a wide receiver. So, it helps your offense out, keeps a bit of momentum going, and definitely opens up the playbook for our second down.
In terms of what the Sharks have been able to do today, had majority of their success passing the ball, and their rushing game success has mostly come from Whitehead himself. It's empty set, trips to the left-hand side, moving Ottens in motion, and hands it off, and Ottens shows his speed. He's an outback player for a reason, and doing terrific work to get to the outside, and that is going to be a first down for the Sharks. Oh, sorry, my apologies. He's gone out just short. Could be third down and inches. Third down and inches is actually a really tricky play to call. Because it is expected that you're obviously going to make the inches, really. So, what goes through an offense's head when you do that?
Well, it's a tough one. It's really, it opens up the offense for the run and the pass. But I think we'll be looking for an interior run here. But forgive me if I'm wrong. We'll see what they're going to go with here, the Sharks. Quarterback gets the ball, and he's going to keep it himself. Wow, he has proved well. He has proved to be running the ball quite well, but good penetration from the Sharks, from the Wolfpack defense, sorry. And it looks like it's going to be 4th and short.
Yeah, the Wolfpack have been doing very well to get the penetration all day. It's really been on those sort of fake handoffs that the Sharks have had to get their yards, because on traditional sort of running plays, it's very difficult. Looks as if there's a flag on the play, and that's going to be well after the play was blown dead, so we'll have to wait to see what goes on here.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 17, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So instead of a 4th down and inches situation, it is going to be a 1st down and 10 with plenty of yards there for the Sharks. It's on Liam Murphy, and that's an unsportsmanlike foul. You just simply can't have those sort of penalties, especially when you have them right on the edge there, especially on 4th down. And we've seen ill discipline almost cost the Queensland Sun Devils in their match against the Raiders last week. Almost cost them a spot in the final. Trips to the right-hand side. Whitehead has time, steps up in the pocket down the middle. It's tipped, and it looks like it's intercepted. Terrific team defensive play there from the Wolfpack. That's what happens when you pass through traffic. Well done there from the Wolfpack, and the secondary steps up big when the Sharks are driving.
Number 22, Nick Grant. He's 2 intercepts in as many games. He had one against the ACT Monarchs earlier on in the series, and he comes up with another one. He athletic play from the rookie. He's actually his first year playing gridiron, and he's gone straight into a starting spot for the New South Wales Wolfpack. So great show of athleticism there and urgency to get to the ball and create a turnover for the Wolfpack, and that is really a killer for the Sharks. We're talking about how they really needed to post points in the first half in order to avoid a big scoreline from the Wolfpack, and they did not need that. So now Dorney he's in the backfield. He has Alex Watson to his right, 2 receivers to his left, and he's going to keep this one to throw, and he looks to the right. Now he's going to go straight through a gaping hole. As we've seen happen many times, the Sharks' defensive line certainly showing some liabilities through the middle, and Keenan Dorney was able to expose them there for what looks to be about a 3-yard pickup. So again and again, we keep seeing gaping holes happening for the interior Sharks defense.
So that's what happened when the line are beginning to push them around the outside and the receivers are making it a threat. It's very hard to guard the inside of that box there. Man in motion. Now the twin set. Dorney hands off down the middle to Watson. And he is hit hard. It's when the Sharks are able to load the box. They're able to do well in terms of stopping the run, but it's when New South Wales are able to spread them out and that line's able to get penetration that holes really start to emerge.
Yeah, when you take defensive players out of the box to cover your receivers, obviously there's going to be more space for the run, and that puts more pressure on the defensive line. So we'll see, what they produce here. It's going to be 3rd and about 7. Dorney has the ball. He looks to throw. He floats one up there for Tuong. Oh, goodness, it went straight off his chest. It's his Sydney Uni counterpart, Tuong, who could have been off to the races if he had to hold that one in. Appeared to be zone coverage for the Sharks, but you can't afford to put those ones down, can you, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, especially that was a pinpoint throw. Dorney looks disappointed. Had hands on hips and hands on helmet after that one was put down. In terms of the position at the moment, they're 15 points up, but you don't want to get too complacent, obviously, considering that, anything can happen. You lead to one score, which leads to possibly another score. So you can never really take it not seriously, to be honest. On the punt, he's got pressure coming, scrambles out to his left. This one goes end over end, and it's going to bounce down, and that is a good kick for the Wolfpack as the ball continues to roll. And both teams have had to start from back deep in their own territory in this one. There's been good punting. You don't really notice that a lot, do you, in terms of special teams? In terms of punting, it is a very important part because the Sharks and the Wolfpack have both had to go majority of the field to score.
We've seen a great display of punting in this game, actually, which is a bit of a rarity in Australian gridiron. A lot of teams like to chance their arm and go for it on 4th down, or, they sort of miss-hit the ball on the punt. But we've seen awesome punting from both teams, and it really helps out your defence.
Absolutely, and the Wolfpack don't need any help on their defence so far. It's still a clean bill of health for them at the moment. Trips to the left-hand side. 5 receivers set. Whitehead looks to take it himself. Goes through the middle. Takes a big hit. Good open field tackle there. And Whitehead has had some success on the ground, but he's just not being able to get the blocking from his receivers. And obviously that's a tricky play because linebacker just sat in the middle and waited for him to come through on the line there. Going to get a few yards on the play. Now 2nd down and 7 coming up. And a good crowd's turned out here at Hurstville. They're slow to trickle in, but now they've come to support the Wolfpack here in Sydney, who looked to book a final spot with a win here. They're currently 15 points to the good. Spread set. Whitehead trips in the pocket, and that's unfortunate for him. Good defensive pressure, however, to make sure that he is basically going nowhere, and the Sharks have really struggled. There is a man down on the play. And it looks as if he's not getting up anytime soon, especially when it comes to the big linemen. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. The expression. Obviously don't want to see anyone injured here in the Australian Gridiron League. Wish he can get up and get back to playing quickly. It's going to set up a 3rd down and long. So at this stage of the game, it's 3rd down and long. The Sharks have got plenty ahead of them. Could you say that the Wolfpack are in a good position at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. They're up 15 points. They were the favourite coming into the game, so they're doing what was expected of them so far. Their defence has held fairly strong, and they're going to look to possibly create another turnover here. The Sharks might look to chance their arm third and long, about 3rd and 15 it looks like. So possibly a pass on the cards. The Sharks don't need to get too desperate yet, though. It is only a 2-possession game, fairly early in the contest. So not to worry if they don't pick up the first down here. As we've said, the punting's been great. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, and there still is halfway. We've still got half of the second quarter as well as the second half. So, as you mentioned, plenty of time. They're lining up. There's a bunch with trips on the right-hand side. Whitehead flushed itself out the pocket, throws long downfield, intercepted. And Nick Grant coming up with his second interception of the game. And when you pass deep, it's always going to be a risk, especially when you're scrambling. We've seen Whitehead, he's a very good mobile quarterback, but that can be his downfall. He's very confident when he throws on the run. The pass was just undercooked. Grant read it well. Good secondary coverage from the Wolfpack, and now they're back on the field in good field position.
Yeah, Nick Grant did a great job to get his head around there. He located the ball and undercut the receiver. As Chris said, it was a little bit underthrown, but you've got to credit the majority of that play to Nick there for getting his head around, which isn't an easy thing to do, and locating the ball there. So awesome job by Nick Grant, and the coaching staff will be happy that they've given the Wolfpack a fairly good opportunity here in the second quarter. Now, Keenan Dorney is in the shotgun position with Saf Cooney there, and he does hand it off to him. He's going to bounce it out to the left, and as you can see, he's fairly quick on his feet, and he turns the corner. And he looks to have gone close to picking up a first down. So Mason Saf Cooney, yeah, he's been dangerous so far, and he was dangerous in their opening game against the ACT Monarchs a couple of weekends ago. It is a 1st and 10, and Keenan Dorney has twin sets on either side. And he has Saf Cooney in the backfield again. He's going to look the pass straight to his right, out to Mark Leggy, the Newcastle Cobber, and he sticks out that left arm. But good job by the Sharks defensive player to drag him out of bounds. Gain of about 6 or 7 there. So about 2nd and 4 upcoming now for the Wolfpack as Leggy leaves the field after a good contribution.
Just a quick note there, Tamani Seve on the tackle had 99 tackles in 12 games for the Adelaide Eagles. He is a man to be reckoned with on that linebacking core, that's for sure.
Certainly an impressive stat sheet there. Now Dorney, he has the ball. He's looking quick to his right again. He finds Max Nina, and he will catch the ball and turn upfield for a pickup of a couple of yards, keeping it fairly safe here. So it is going to be 3rd and 6 now for the New South Wales Wolfpack. They're getting quite close to posting their 3rd touchdown here, so the Sharks will need to muscle up. Looks like they've got a favourable matchup out the left here with Max Nina in single coverage. And Dorney, he's not going to go there. He's going to hand it off to Saf Cooney, who breaks one tackle and almost breaks the second, but it was a good job there. Open field tackling for the Sharks has been pretty solid, and it's something you really need to achieve.
Absolutely, and it's those few yards, like we keep talking about, is so important. This is a game of inches and a game of yards, and when you can get those open field tackles, you're preventing them from just edging closer, especially in this situation on the goal line set. 4th down and inches.
So here we go, Dorney now. He's been in a familiar shotgun position. He may have a free play here. He's going to take an opportunity to Grant McNaughton, but he wasn't able to get his head around to the other side. But it looks as though it could have been an encroachment on the Sharks' defensive line, which would be a real let-off for the Cobras here. For the Wolfpack.
Offside,
got my teams mixed
number
up.
43 defense.
So it could be a first down
Half
here for the
distance to the
Wolfpack.
goal, 1st down.
So instead of 4th down and inches, it's 1st down and goal. Not much of a difference considering they're so close to the goal line. Be looking to add to their lead here. Dorney hands off. Saf Cooney tackled well in the backfield. And the Sharks are coming up when they need it here.
It looks like they're starting to favour their defence towards the Wolfpack running game. Looks like there's a couple more men in the box, and they're expecting the run a little bit more than they were earlier, and rightly so. I mean, Saf Cooney's been very threatening early. So maybe a potential change-up in offensive tactics coming up for the Wolfpack, because the Sharks are doing a good job. But we'll see what they go with here on 2nd down. He's got twins either side. He's got his big target, McNaughton, there. He moves Tiong in motion from left to right. And he's going to hand it off. Has he handed it off, or is he? I think he's kept it, Dorney. He's kept it. It was tough to see. But a good keeper from Dorney, but I don't think he's got enough yards. It's going to be third down. Third and goal now for the Wolfpack. So good job staying awake on the backside for the Sharks defence there.
Yeah, Andy Stevens as well, another outback player for the South Australian Sharks. Very good in the open field, but also so is Dorney, obviously. He's the outback quarterback and definitely is undisputed as one of the best players in the country.
He certainly is. Now third and goal. Sharks have been quite strong now, only giving up a couple of yards per play. Bit of a shift in the defensive line for the Sharks here as Dorney has twins either side. And he's going to give it to Saf Cooney, and I tell you what, gaping hole there. Saf Cooney makes that his second touchdown, 3 rushing touchdowns for the New South Wales Wolfpack. They will take a 21-point lead with a point after to come, and as we see again and again, the Sharks' defensive line is certainly opening up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, only time was going to basically be against the Wolfpack there because in terms of how many downs the Sharks held them, there's a quick snap here on the 2-point conversion. Chiong is making a hard run to the opposite side of the field. Shows her pace. He gets horse-collared. 5-man Pamelin, but he makes the tackle, and if there's no penalty on the play, that's going to stop them there. It's 21-0. As I was saying earlier, though, the Sharks did well to hold them for about 4 or 5 downs. They only conceded a few yards, but the Wolfpack's class coming through here in this one. It doesn't seem as if the Wolfpack are utterly dominating this game, but it just, yeah, like I said, you can just tell the class difference between the two sides at the moment.
Look, the Wolfpack are really winning the battle on the offensive line. They're not really missing their assignments, and they're really bullying the Sharks' defensive line, so they're going to need to address their play, the Sharks' defensive line, right now probably, or at half times, to see if they can make some adjustments in order to stop this Wolfpack running attack. But they're certainly looking good on offense, are the Wolfpack, as we expected. I wouldn't rule the Sharks out yet, though. They are down by 21 points, but they have shown some ability through the air with a couple of receivers getting open. So still definitely anyone's contest at the moment as Kent Nugent is lining up for the kickoff.
4:36 remaining here in the second. It's now 21-0. And Josh Barry wanted to go all the way, but there was a fair catch called by pretty much everyone else on the Sharks team. And flags have flown thick and fast onto the field here. We'll have to wait to see what the call is. Been a few flags on special teams so far in this one.
Delay of game, a fair catch signal was called by South Australia and advanced. 5-yard penalty from the dead ball spot, first down.
Just 4.5 minutes left in this half of football. Before we start the halftime extravaganza, we'll have the parachutists coming in. So keep an eye out for that. And he'll be bringing balloons to the kids.
So the Sharks getting ready to kick off their new drive. They've come close on a couple of occasions, but it seems as if the Wolfpack have been able to hold them out. 2 interceptions to Nick Grant at the moment has headlined the defence for New South Wales, and they're currently doing what they need to do to make sure that they secure a win and a spot in the Australian Gridiron League final against the Queensland Sun Devils. Boy, cannot wait for that. But believe me, it's not locked in yet, that's for sure. Still got a half of football to play and another 4.5 minutes in this quarter. Here as the Sharks line up with trips to the left-hand side. Whitehead sits back, quick pass on the screen. And he's not going to go anywhere. The Wolfpack secondary has done well here to close out on the Sharks receivers. There have not been many passing yards at all in this one. It's a real testimony to how the Wolfpack are defending in this one. They're shutting down the run well, and then they're shutting down the pass well as well.
Yeah, when you look at the Wolfpack personnel, they've really got a lot of good players in the secondary. They've got a good mix of experience and youth, and it's definitely, they're definitely proving to be quite a dangerous group of players here so far with the takeaways they produced.
Lining up again, 5 receiver set. Whitehead moving Nolte in motion. Gets the handoff, and he's be able to get a few yards, and that looks like it might be able to get him the first down. Ian Nolte, always a productive runner in the Gridiron SA League. Let's see what he can do here on the national stage. And he's doing well at the moment to make sure that the chains are moving for the Sharks. This has now turned into a 4-minute offense sort of situation for them. It's usually you talk about 4-minute offense when it comes to holding a lead late in a game, but now they have 4 minutes to get down the field here. Another empty set, 5 receivers. Whitehead drops back, quick check down pass to Nolte. Good open field tackle though. And it just seems as every single time that SA is getting the ball, Wolfpack are there.
Yeah, great open field tackling there by the UTS player, Andrew Asher. Something that I'm sure they've worked very hard on in practice leading up to this game is open field tackling. It's a very important aspect of the game, and they're executing well in the open field. Good open field tackling.
Second down and 4 to come. Lining up with Simons in the backfield. Spread set, 2 wide receivers either side. Wolfpack have 4 on the line. Whitehead tosses out to Simons. Gets caught, stays on his feet, but then gets hit. And it looks like they're not going to get many yards on that play, but it's still going to be enough to make it a 3rd down and short situation. We talked about it earlier. 3rd down and short can actually be a lot trickier than you think in terms of what you're calling on offense and execution as well, because in terms of what the Wolfpack have been doing, great penetration from that line, and the linebackers and secondary have just been there to make the play.
Yeah, look, they've played well, but at the moment, I would say it's probably 4-down territory for the Sharks. They're in good field position, so provided they don't lose too much here, they may be in for a 4th down attempt if they can't make the 1st down. Now the quarterback does get the ball. Looks like he's set to keep it, but nowhere to go there for Whitehead. He was shut down by the defensive line. But he could have got a couple of yards, which, you know, brings up an interesting part of the game. There might be a 4th down attempt coming up from the Sharks, because I don't believe they made the 1st down, but they definitely would like the post points on this drive.
2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the half. We have 1:49 left. 1:49 left.
Timeout called late here in the second quarter. Wolfpack lead 21-0 here. And my apologies, that's going to be the 2-minute warning, which means now there's even less time for the Sharks to get downfield. And like you said, it's definitely 4th down territory now. No use punting. They've got to go for it. And on 4th down and inches, with a mobile quarterback like Whitehead, it becomes just that little bit easier. But they haven't been able to get any sort of production out of their running back so far.
No, they haven't. But they've gotten a couple of yards from Whitehead when he actually elects to keep the ball on those option reads. So it's going to be interesting to see the play call here. He's lined up in the pistol set with a tailback behind him. So we'll see what they do.
Key play here for the Sharks. Got the jump. And the hard count is going to make the Wolfpack play. That looks like that'll be an automatic 1st down. And considering it's a penalty, will also stop the clock. So the Wolfpack letting him off the hook here.
Offside. 97 defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
And in terms of ill discipline, you simply cannot afford to give your team 1st downs. Go back again to the game that we saw last week here on Ascension Sports TV when Queensland and Western Australia played. Western Australia, on the drive that eventually got Queensland over the line, there were 3 automatic 1st downs in terms of penalties, and you simply cannot afford to do that, especially when you have them in 3rd down situations. 5 receivers set now. Whitehead moving on in motion. Hands it off to him. Gets to the outside, but good contain work there from the Wolfpack. They're making sure that there's no movement to that outside, and they're not getting any sort of penetration there. And in terms of the wide receivers, they need to do their part by blocking as well.
Yeah, it's really a 50-50 job with the wide receiving position. A lot of people look at it as, you know, flashy players who make big plays down the field, make big catches, but really for an offense to be clicking and making yards in all aspects, the wide receivers need to be putting just as much effort into the run blocking as they are with the route running, and you don't always see that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the things that go on behind the play that make the game of gridiron so great. Whitehead sitting back, has time, quick pass down the middle, hits Ottens. And there's a 1st down, and now they move to the edge of their red zone. Time continues to tick down. They don't seem too concerned about that at the moment. Good play there from Whitehead, and this is where the Wolfpack do very well. It's that hurry-up offense that they tend to do with Dorney at the helm. that makes defenses, they really squirm because they have to adjust on the fly.
Yeah, it's tough when you're out there to make adjustments quickly. It looks like they're taking a bit of a page out of the Wolfpack's book here, as you said. The Sharks looking to employ the hurry-up offense, and they really need to score quickly. Time is running out.
First down and 10 here on the 21. Moving Otten's in motion again to make it trips. And a quick screen pass down low to Tedmanson. Gets some blocking. Smartly gets to the outside, but brought down well. There will be a flag down on the play. And in terms of 2-minute offense, for those of you who might not be familiar with the game of gridiron, if you get out of bounds, it will stop the clock. And that's exactly what the Sharks need at the moment. Although the penalty does stop the clock regardless, we'll have to wait to see what the call is.
48 seconds to go, and there was a block in the back there. So that will go against South Australia, unfortunately.
Illegal block in the back, number 43 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still the first down. 48 seconds. Timeout, New South Wales.
So the Wolfpack, their third and final timeout following an illegal block in the back, and that is going to push the Sharks well back. That is a first down and long situation. That's the last thing they needed at the moment. Trailing by 21 and in a position to score. They have been... It's cost them. Penalties have really cost them.
Yeah, they have. Look, you can't afford to give away these penalties, especially when, as Chris said, especially when you're down 21 points to nil. You need to capitalise in these great field position opportunities, and they haven't done that so far.
So here in the timeout, it's 21-0 here. We'd like to thank Hurstville City Council and also to Hostworks here for helping us with the live stream. Thank you for joining us on Ascension Sports TV. Make sure you join us for the second half. It's been an interesting game so far, and love you to join us here. And just remember, after this game as well, the New South Wales Coyotes, the women's team for the New South Wales Gridiron League, will take on the Queensland Sun Devils women's side. And that should be a cracker as well, because that's going to determine who's going into the final for the women's league as well. So stick around for that. That should be starting around 2:30 local time.
58 seconds to go.
Following the timeout here. 48 seconds remaining here. 5 receivers set. Empty backfield. Trips to the left-hand side. Whitehead has a bit of time to work. Throws into the corner. Great interception. And terrific work there. Keenan Mackett. Kevin Trin. My apologies. Making a great play near the pylon. And that has again stopped the Sharks in their tracks deep into their territory. The Wolfpack seeming to do the whole bending, not breaking thing.
That was awesome work by Kevin Trin. Look, as I said before with Nick Grant, when he got his head around when the wide receiver was running the route, it's actually very difficult for a defensive back to do that. They've got to focus on keeping up with the wide receiver, and then when they hear the call from the rest of their defense that the ball's in the air, try and get their head around, locate it, and make the play. And Kevin Trin ticked all boxes on that one and was able to create the takeaway. And I'm expecting the Wolfpack to come out pretty aggressively here and try to post some more points before the break, but we'll see what happens. Yep, Dorney drops back and he looks to throw, and he throws a fairly deep one. Tell you what, that was accurate over the middle to Grant McNaughton, who has been a little quiet in the last 20 or so minutes, but makes a big play there. And they're going with the hurry up, the Wolfpack. Twin wide receivers either side. Dorney calls for the snappy as he looks quickly to his left, and he gets it to Mark Shoebridge on the quick hitch route, taking advantage of the off coverage played by the Sharks' defensive backs.
Timeout.
As I said before, the Sharks,
New South Wales.
the Wolfpack
Second
definitely
timeout.
won't be holding back on this last drive.
37 seconds.
In terms of that last
37.
interception as well, once again it seems Whitehead just hasn't had the arm strength or you could say at least the accuracy to make sure he's getting over the secondary. I mean, it's good coverage nonetheless. You definitely can't take away from the Wolfpack. They're doing an exceptional job taking the receivers. But that being said as well, you need to make sure that you're not underthrowing. If anything, you're going to be overthrowing the pass.
Well, you've got to put it in a position where only your receiver can make a play at the football, and in that case, he really didn't do that. But I can understand the logic behind the throw, because if you see one-on-one coverage high, then you trust your receiver to make the play. But again, just great defensive back play by the Wolfpack. They did a good job there. So 30 seconds remaining for the Wolfpack. Dorney takes the snap. He looks quickly out to Max Nina, who catches it, then laterals it to Saf Cooney. Oh, and the Sharks, they get a takeaway. A bit of a slip up there from the Wolfpack offense. It was definitely a design lateral there. Max Nina on the quick screen, and then back underneath to Saf Cooney, who's been impressive in his campaign for the Wolfpack, but he just wasn't able to secure the ball that time. And the Sharks, gigantic turnover, takeaway created by them, and they'll go straight back onto attack with about 20 seconds remaining. So, enough time to have a couple of shots at the end zone.
Yeah, it seems as if ball security seems to be the only problem the Wolfpack have had today. They had a fumble right on their goal line, and now that one as well. Just little fundamental errors. It hasn't cost them that much, though. But the Sharks could make them pay here very late in the quarter. Tedmanson looks to move in motion, goes back to his original position, goes to the outside, it's red, well. And Kevin Trin undercuts the route, and he is going to go all the way. No, he's brought down just before the goal line. And as a corner, that is your dream play, undercutting the short route, showing the wheels to get down all the way down the other end. He doesn't get the touchdown, but what a terrific play. Whitehead throws another interception here in the first half. And the Wolfpack, apart from their ball security, can't put a foot wrong at the moment.
No, that was excellent work by Kevin Trin, who came up with the big play earlier. Whitehead kind of stared down his receiver a little bit there, and Trin undercut it for the massive play, and now the Wolfpack are very close. They've got 4 wide receivers to the right-hand side, and they will go back to the left, intended for Mark Shoebridge on the slant route. But it was good coverage there by the Sharks' defensive back, so it'll bring up second down. And there can't be long left in the time, probably about 10 seconds now. So Dorney will look to take a couple of shots towards the end zone, or maybe even give it to Saf Cooney or Watson, who have had a big day so far with 3 touchdowns between them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems as if the Sharks have done well to defend the pass today. It's the running game they need to be worried about, because they have such terrific threats in the backfield here. They're lining up 4 receivers here. To the right-hand side, Dorney changes his mind, moves his Tuong to the other side. Dorney looks at the options, goes himself, gets tripped up, and he's going to be in for the touchdown. And the Wolfpack now piling on the points here late in the second. Just when he thought that maybe they just gave the ball away for the Sharks to score, Trin makes a terrific play, gets down to the 2. Dorney finishes on the quick cut inside. And now the Wolfpack really flexing their muscles here in the first half. It's 27-0 here in the Australian Gridiron League match here in Sydney. Did you expect this? 27-0 at halftime?
No, I didn't. I thought that South Australia were going to be, well, look, I'm not going to say a little bit more competitive, because they have been very competitive so far in the first half. I don't think 27-0 is a true indication of how the game's gone. The Wolfpack have just really proved their class early. As he's going to hit, Dorney will hit Max Nina wide open on the quick slant to increase the margin to 29 points. So it is 29 points to 0. The New South Wales Wolfpack over the South Australian Sharks.
And there'll only be a few seconds left here in the half. It's been a crazy end to this second quarter. And it's been an entertaining match so far. It's been all the Wolfpack, however. And as you mentioned, though, although the scoreboard maybe not be as indicative as you may think, it's been the terms with a lot of this. But it is the teams which convert, which are the teams which win, obviously.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, it happened against the Monarchs, and here the Wolfpack have just, made do with their opportunities. And, this could easily be 29-0 the other way. I mean, the Sharks have been right in it. They've been making good plays, both on offense and defense, but they just they haven't been able to put the finishing touches on some of their drives and capitalise off turnovers, and the Wolfpack have been able to do so. But given what we've seen from the Sharks in the first half, definitely we wouldn't rule out a comeback coming from them in the second half.
Following kickoff is low, and it's a grubber. Tedmanson does well to receive it. Has a bit of grass ahead of him, but shut down by the Wolfpack special teams unit. And in terms of what you were just saying there before, it could come down to the experience of the quarterbacks as well. I mean, Dorney has done very well at the moment. He continuously looks poised in the pocket and in every situation seems to know what's going on. And the Whitehead has looked creative at times and mobile. It looks as if in terms of the experience that he has, he's not very old at all. This will be obviously his first start on the national stage. He's only had half a season of seniors experience, like I mentioned earlier. It really does matter in terms of how the quarterbacks go about it and how they lead their team. And obviously we've seen that 4 interceptions in the first half for Whitehead. A half to forget. Hopefully he can rebound for the Sharks. Split set. Whitehead sits back. The pass is a good one to Ottens, who seems to be the preferred receiver now. And he gets downfield. SA desperately calling for a timeout. Not sure if they have them to use. They're going to put the ball straight back in the middle, going straight into hurry up. Same formation. Whitehead again, sits back, passes to Ons again and connects. And they're moving down the field. Wondering where this offense was early on in the half. 2 terrific early plays there. How are they getting open here in the Wolfpack's defense? I mean, that's been 2 plays where Otten's getting open. It's halftime now. Just quickly, how did they get open there?
Well, they're both those passes on that occasion, they were fairly quick releases from Whitehead. And basically what it is probably a little bit of a lackluster zone coverage effort from the Wolfpack. And good vision displayed by Whitehead, the youngster, really to pick out those spots of weakness on the Wolfpack defence and exploit those areas. So good job from Whitehead. Unfortunately, they weren't able to post points. It is halftime now.
29-0 the score at halftime here on the Australian Gridiron League match here on Ascension Sports. Be sure to join us in the second half.